Welcome to Life and Living. I'm Joanna Gagis. Did you know that art can be a form of therapy? It's true, and I'm here with Annette Vaccaro, who is a professor at Caldwell College, and she's teaching a terrific program called Art Therapy to your students. Tell us about the program. What is art therapy and how does it work?
Well, thank you for having me today. Art therapy is a form of counseling, and we help students to integrate art therapy methods, meaning that they use art materials and art processes to help people really communicate what their experience is, what they're thinking and feeling.
Explain that. How does that work? How are you using art to communicate feeling?
It happens in many different ways. There's two major ways that happens. One of them is that art is something that tends to relax people. It helps people discharge some of their tension while they're working, so that makes it easier for them to speak. So some children may come in and if you ask them a question, they don't answer, but if they're making art, they just suddenly start to talk. So you'll see some kids who are making art and kind of chit-chatting the whole way through the sessions. And then the other way that art is used is that art can be symbolic. So the art that's produced may be communicating in itself.
So the images and the things that are actually drawn or put on paper are actually telling something about what's happening in the thought process.
Right, and,
Okay.
and especially for children or other populations who may not be very verbal, art may be their primary method to express their feelings.
Well, we're about to see a clip that shows how art therapy really impacted and changed the lives of some young people right here in New Jersey. Let's see that clip.
Graduate students had a very unique opportunity, and that was to work with families who were affected by Superstorm Sandy in a pilot program called Jersey Shore Creates. There were 18 graduate students accompanied one of the art therapy instructors and used art materials as a way to help families express themselves and to be able to work through some of the trauma that was associated with the hurricane.
So people who were impacted by Hurricane Sandy really benefit from this. Tell me how that program worked and how you went down and impacted these people's lives.
Sure. This project came out of a partnership between the college and the New Jersey Art Therapy Association. So a group of art therapists with specializations in trauma work got together and developed a 3-session experience for families. And then we found places where the families were impacted, the communities were impacted, their schools were impacted. One place we went to work in, the post office wasn't even open yet, even though the hurricane had been months before. And we went in and worked with these families. We had 3 goals in mind, 3 major goals. One was to build resiliency in these families.
How are you building resiliency through art?
Well, art making doesn't have to occur any one way, so many people feel successful when they're making art. There's no one answer. However the storm impacted them, they could express it in their own way.
And what did you see? What were some of the pieces that came out of this?
There were a lot of very interesting pieces that came out. Some of the kids reenacted the storm through the art, so they may have had scribble. One child drew a dock and buildings being overtaken by a scribble, or another young girl we worked with created something out of pipe cleaners, and her father, who she was with, did a lot of construction on homes, and it was building, she was building something that was like a transformative kind of a process. She built something that would take something in and transform it into some good. So the kids were really trying to process what they felt and what they heard. We also tried to help the families communicate. So
is there something about actually just bringing the families together and having them do this together that's
Sure.
healing in and of itself?
Yes, these families were in chaos, a lot of them, so they're burdened each day with where are they going to sleep, how are they going to deal with insurance companies, when will they get back to their homes. So it normalizes an experience, at least for a few hours, where the families can come together, feel safe, be able to have the opportunity to talk to each other about what their needs are.
Does this have to be done in a guided kind of fashion, or can any kind of art be art therapy?
Kids use art all the time to organize themselves, organize their thoughts. to express the things that they don't have the verbal skills to communicate. But an art therapist is trained to facilitate the process. So for someone who finds it difficult to express those things, or in an environment where it's not easy to talk about, we're trained to help that process along.
And you're also working with children who have been victims of domestic violence.
Yes.
Same kind of thing, same approach?
Yes, we work with kids who experience traumas in all different settings. So we're on pediatric units, we're in battered women's shelters. We work with kids who have experienced all different kinds of trauma, sexual abuse. And yes, we are in a lot of domestic violence shelters where we're helping children to be able to talk about what they have a lot of shame and discussing other places.
So you're really bringing your students out and you're putting them right into these very real-world situations. What kind of careers are they looking to have when they graduate?
Our students are uniquely trained for the professions of both counseling and art therapy in New Jersey. So some of those students pursue an art therapy track where they may be, we have art therapists working in classrooms with special needs children. So we adapt the materials and we adapt the curriculum to meet their special needs. We have art therapists working in pediatric units, minimizing trauma during medical procedures. Art therapists work in hospitals with the mentally ill, working with people who may not be able to have difficulty verbalizing their experience.
Thank you for enlightening us about this very impactful subject. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Don't go anywhere. More Life and Living coming up right after this. Thank you so much.